Welcome to Free Coding Academy's Machine Learning Series Part 7. So what is the k-nearest neighbor KNN-ML model? What is the KNN-ML model? Like the name suggests, the KNN model works similar to asking your neighbors for advice. The k-nearest neighbor model makes predictions based on similarity. When it sees something new, it looks around at its closest neighbors and decides which class or label to assign to that new data point. It does this by looking at the labels of its nearest neighbors and going with the majority. So what kinds of decisions do KNN models make? They can be used for classification tasks. So KNN models can categorize data points. So for example, if you input an image of a new fruit with an unknown label, KNN finds the 3 closest fruits in the dataset. So for example, if 2 are labeled apple and 1 is labeled pear, it decides the image you inputted was an apple. It can also be used for regression tasks. So it can average the values of its neighbors to decide the predicted number. So for example, predicting house price. So what does the K in KNN stand for? The K stands for how many neighbors we ask. If K equals 3, we look at the 3 closest data points. If 2 say yes and 1 say no, we go with the majority and pick yes. And this is similar to voting and picking the option that receives the most votes. So how does the KNN model measure distance? KNN usually uses Euclidean distance to find neighbors. Euclidean distance is like drawing a straight line between points. The closer the neighbor, the more influence they have on the decision that the KNN model makes. So what are some examples of where KNN models are used? They can be used to recommend movies based on similar user tastes, classifying plants based on features, or predicting customer behavior from past data. So what are some limitations of KNN models? KNN can be slow with large datasets. They don't work well when features have very different scales, and they don't work well if the data is noisy or high dimensional. And high dimensional, like we mentioned in a previous video, is when a dataset has a large number of features or variables. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and watch part 8 on the k-means clustering ML model next.